This morning, our friend Jerry Grosh is here. Jerry, the Interim Director of Operations at Mennonite Disaster Services, which we'll just call MDS from here on out. Jerry, is that okay with you?
That's great.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great this morning. It's a wonderful, beautiful summer morning.
Yeah. Anybody you want to say hi to this morning?
I would give a special shout out to anybody who's volunteered with MDS, and because the volunteers are what make MDS. Without volunteers, MDS doesn't exist.
And I'm guessing a lot of your volunteers are from this area. Do you get a lot from this area?
Quite a lot. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There would be huge numbers of people volunteering from Lancaster County, but also surrounding areas. And so we really appreciate what they do and what they bring to our programs.
Before we talk about MDS and your programs and what you're doing, Jerry, I want to talk a little bit about your journey. So you retired. You're back now as the interim director. They needed you, but you've sort of done it all in the MDS world. Tell us about all the places you've been and where you've served.
Done it all? Well, yes. I was hired in 2006 after coming back from 17 years working in East Africa with the Mennonite Church. And I started as the field operations director. In that role, I oversaw all the projects of MDS, and we've had projects all the way from American Samoa to Saipan. I never did get to Saipan, but got to American Samoa, Alaska, Puerto Rico, and all of the places in between on the mainland. So I've counted up when I retired 110, at least 110 different project locations all across the U.S.
Amazing.
And one thing I want just to note, because of what we do, we are rebuilding homes, cleaning up and rebuilding homes for people who can't afford to do that after disasters. It means that we often get into marginalized communities. These might be Native American reservations like Pine Ridge in South Dakota, a Atacapa-Ishak Indian group south of New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. Selma, we currently have a project in Selma, Alabama, and a lot of you would recognize that name because of the civil rights movement.
Right.
Working in, for us who are mostly... Who are we? Mostly white, sort of northerners here, going into the South, working in black communities. It's really special. We develop great relationships in those kinds of places.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about all the volunteers that are going into those areas and doing something. If you've been to 100 places, you've seen thousands of volunteers who are working there. Tell me a little bit about what it takes to be the heart of an MDS volunteer.
What does it take? I used to use a verse from Exodus, where was it? Chapter 4, where Moses is at the burning bush, and he gives God all these excuses. You remember that? And then finally God said, "Look, Moses," I don't know if he got impatient with Moses, said, "Moses, what's that in your hand?" Moses just said, "Well, it's a staff, or it's my shepherd's stick."
Yeah.
And sort of the tools of the trade. But what I take from that is that God can use very ordinary things and very ordinary people to do extraordinary things.
Yeah.
This is just my stick. So you have a spatula in your hands. You can cook for MDS. You handle hammers. You use a mouse or a keyboard. You could be an office manager for MDS. So we put people to work. You don't know anything about construction. Somebody will teach you how to do that drywall.
Yeah.
Even if it means you get dusty, messy. Yeah.
Oh, all these years of experience, all these people that you have met, all this hope that you have helped instill in many of these communities. I know you probably have thousands of stories, but does one stick in your head that you could share with us that kind of embodies what MDS is doing?
I want to read a little bit from a letter. This came from someone in Amory, Mississippi, where MDS volunteers were rebuilding houses following a tornado there. I don't know if the tornado was this past spring or last fall, but this letter came sometime this summer. I'm going to read this. So just to say this is directly, pieces of this letter, the persons wrote, "What touched me most was how they, the volunteers, carried themselves with humility, compassion, and the dignity of people who truly serve not for praise, but for purpose. We came to know them not just as helpers, but as disciples of Christ. Their love was not in word only, but in deed and truth. They were the hands and feet of Jesus, reaching into the wreckage and lifted lives. With the heart of saints, they embodied the gospel, not behind a pulpit, but in muddy boots and calloused hands. Because of them, my family has a home again.
Wow.
But more than that, we have witnessed what it means to serve like Christ with dignity, respect, and an unshakable love. Thank you. You have changed our lives forever."
Wow. Wow. Muddy boots and
man.
callous hands.
Yeah.
That's a great letter.
Exactly.
That's a great letter. Well, thank you so much, Jerry, for being with us. We want to talk more coming up, maybe find out about some of the recent catastrophes that have happened and how MDS is serving there. In the meantime, you could visit online, mds.org, find out how you could get involved as a volunteer or even how you can help support what MDS is doing throughout the world. Our very special guest, Jerry Grosh, is with us. He's the Interim Director of Operations at Mennonite Disaster Services. Good morning again, Jerry.
Good morning.
So
Good
great to
be
have you here. For those who don't know what Mennonite Disaster Services does, MDS, when, let's say, recent disasters, the big ones that stick in my mind, North Carolina, Texas, the fires of California. So those things happen. What does MDS do? When do you move in? How does it all work?
We don't go in directly because we have to let emergency services, search and rescue, do their work and not get in their way. But we're in there soon after, and we're often in with some cleanup crews, not always. The fires in L.A., they consider that ash, hazardous waste, and volunteers don't clean it up. So we're waiting for others to do that. But right now, down there in Texas, in the hill country where the floods happened, we have some crews that came out of Seminole, Texas, in the western part, and they're in there doing some cleanup work, mucking out houses, the mud, the houses that stood but got water in them and mud in them, and maybe cleaning up some trees and doing some other work, cleanup work like that. But the majority of what we do is repairing and rebuilding individual homes following those disasters. Sometimes it takes a while. We have not started in LA yet. We're there. We're working with partners to put together the local structures and systems that enable us to do our work. Part of that is the disaster case management, case managers who work directly with homeowners, vet and screen them, because we're looking for people who need that assistance and cannot recover on their own.
Right.
Those of us probably sitting in this room, if a big windstorm came and blew our house over, you probably have insurance, and you probably I would not qualify for MDS assistance. My insurance and my resources would take care of things. There are many people who can't afford to rebuild, especially after floods, because not that many people have flood insurance.
Right.
So that's what we do. We provide the volunteer labor. We partner with others, most often who provide funds. In North Carolina, we have a partnership with the Lutheran Diocese of Western North Carolina. We're building bridges that got washed away, rebuilding them to enable people to reach their homes so they don't have to walk across the creek now to get to their house,
right,
with their groceries or their whatever it is.
Amazing.
So partner with the Lutherans for doing that. We often partner with the United Methodist Commission on Relief or Committee on Relief. UMCOR they are specialists in the case management area, and we often look for them. The Red Cross has offered funds for building materials in L.A., so it goes the whole gamut. I say we never work alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a great model for, I think, you talked about the church. we never work alone.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you're pulling all the resources from everybody together. And you being someone who has gone out and overseen these operations, you have seen a lot of different people coming together. And when those people come together, there's no longer me in it. There's no longer my denomination. It's a team working to meet the needs of the people.
Yes, absolutely. And it is a team effort. We take volunteers. Most of our projects depend on the weekly groups. We ask people to come in on a Sunday evening, work a week, Monday through Friday. You can leave to go home Friday evening or Saturday morning, but it's those weekly crews. There's an awfully lot that happens to enable a crew to come in on Sunday night and work hard from Monday, do meaningful work from Monday through Friday, and make something happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen out of thin air. There's a whole team and lots of people. We have great local partnerships in many places that also help to make that work.
If listeners say, I'd love to be one of those weekly crews, what do they do?
Go to our website at mds.org. That's all you need to type in, mds.org, and you'll get there. And there should be a volunteer tab, and under that volunteer tab, there are opportunities listed. And you can even get on a wait list if you say, well, I want to go, but there's nothing yet listed for November, but that's when I want to go. You can put yourself on a wait list to go somewhere in November. And we know where most of those projects will be in November, but we're still doing the final planning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful. Here's an opportunity for you to serve the Lord and serve the people whose lives have been impacted by a catastrophe. You could visit mds.org today and be a part of that team that Jerry has talked about this morning. Jerry, thank you so much for coming and sharing your stories and sharing your wealth of knowledge about MDS.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for having me.